Hey, what's up, guys? It's James with This Week in Airsoft, and I wanted to come to you to tell you a few things about this interview. First things first, my half of the video conversation was corrupted when I recorded it. I didn't realize this till after the fact, so I couldn't deal with it until when I started to edit the video. It took me about 2 weeks of screwing around to figure out that the video was truly screwed, so I went ahead and just inserted a picture of myself that's like rotating on a kind of slideshow, like you guys have seen me do in the past. I hate giving you guys stuff like this, especially when I go to such lengths to make sure I record the audio and redundant video and everything else, and to lose it all really pissed me off. I do have the guest video, which was great. So I have the guest video, the guest audio, and my audio. So you guys will be able to hear that, and it should be pretty seamless to you. It just is very annoying to me. So at any rate, it's a great interview. Definitely enjoy it. Next thing's the last thing I wanted to mention before I let you into the interview. The guy who I interviewed in this is a little controversial. People either love him or they hate him. Okay, more leaning so to hate. The reason I chose to interview him, he came to me and asked me if he could come on the show and talk to us about stuff, and I didn't know who he was. So I asked people I knew, I did some research, and everyone said, don't have him on the show. He's a blight on the airsoft community. He's no good. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't find anything wrong with the guy. Okay? I couldn't find any hard evidence to say he's this or he's that. You know, he's stolen valor, he's a crazy, he's this, he's that. I couldn't find anything. All I found was people saying they heard something, but they had no proof of it, and they don't know if it actually happened. It's just hearsay, yada yada yada. And you know, as a quote unquote journalist, or quote-unquote airsoft news outlet, I can't allow myself to be swayed by, rumor and random smatterings of, who knows whether it's truth or not. So I decided to have the guy on the show to see why everybody hates him, okay? I had a great conversation with him, and he seems like a normal guy to me. He does have some things about what him and his organization, how they view airsoft, that I personally don't like, and that I personally would not want to participate in. But that's his right. This is America. It's his right to do that, and a lot of people enjoy the kind of airsoft that they engage in, and the kind of organization they have. We don't have to like it, but we don't have to be jerks about it either, or bullies, or trolls, or any of those things. So those aspects are the worst parts of airsoft, and we have to do better as a community. We need to stop infighting, stop concentrating on who's more of a tool, and start thinking about what we can do to save this sport. Okay? So remember, guys, we can always do better. We can all do better. So let's work toward that goal. Thanks a lot, guys. This is James with This Week in Airsoft. Enjoy the interview, and I'm out. What's up, guys? It's James with This Week in Airsoft, and we are back again. It is Friday, March 20th, and today I have a man who is famous and infamous in the airsoft world. USJTF 6, Brad Cooper. Brad Crawford. Brad Cooper. Brad Crawford. What's going on, Bradley? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing today, James?
I'm great. So let me give you guys a quick little background how I found out about Brad. Honestly, I had no idea. I'd heard the USJTF, but in a very limited sideline sort of way. Didn't know too much about them. Knew that a lot of people had a lot of problems with them on the internet, and everything I saw that had anything to do with the USJTF was very, at least from what they said back to people, seemed favorable. It seemed like they were just kind of defending themselves. And, I'm not one to let trolls stop me from doing what I'm going to do. So, Brad gave us the opportunity to have him on the show, and I thought it was a good idea. He was deployed at the time, but now we got him on. So he was able to come over here and spend a little time with us. He's global right now. Down in, you're in Panama or somewhere?
Yeah, actually down here in Panama City, Panama right now. We have chapter dinner that we're currently doing. We should have between 40 and 60 people tonight, and it's just a time for us all to get together to kind of share in what we all enjoy. Honor not only the chapter but the countries too involved, and it is actually pretty interesting because the first time, I have the U.S. flag to the left instead of the right, because we had the Panamanian flag to the right because it's their country.
Right.
But it's an awesome experience. Just to touch in kind of what we've done here, we had a great event. I was the chapter commander here, Javier, and we actually ran a 12-hour operation.
Yeah, it was 12-hour operation last weekend. I mean, no moon.
Yeah, right in the middle of the jungle.
Right in the middle of the jungle.
And I'll tell you, I think we had a little bit of Ghostbusters action going on because we heard people actually walking around, marching and singing, and actually seeing one myself walk across the trail. Not only that, being in the jungle is specifically a different kind of airsoft play.
Right, absolutely. That's an environment that a lot of guys, I'm sure, would be dying to play in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was an awesome experience, and the guys down here did an outstanding job. We were worn out, tired. I remember going back to Panama City. It's about 90 kilometers to where we played, and I was zoning out. So a good time.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's talk about you real quick. You're a lot of guys know you one kind of way, but tell us a little bit about you and your background. I know you're active duty in the U.S. military. You've been deployed multiple times. Give us a little background. What got you into airsoft? What got you to the USJTF? What got it started? How did we get here?
Oh, excellent. That's an excellent line of questioning. I've actually been in the U.S. Army for about 15 years now. Joined when I was 17. Now I'm 32. I have been deployed quite a few times. This last one was my 5th time. I spent 9 months in Kuwait. In Operation Support and Shield, which was this is basically intrinsic action, support the United States and its security interests abroad in the Middle East. For me, I joined Airsoft probably about 8-9 years ago. I had a guy come out. I used to play paintball a lot, and he's like, "Hey man, you need to come out and check this out." And I was like, "No man, Airsoft, it's really not me." He's like, "All right, just give me a day, and I'll let you borrow some stuff and come out and have a good time." So he throws me in he throws me a magazine, and he goes, "Hey, you know what to do with that?" And I said, "Yeah, I sure do." After that, just got hooked, and I've been doing it all along. The biggest thing about the USJTF, I'm sure we'll talk about the misconceptions here a little later in the interview. When we formed the strategy kind of session to build this organization, we had a lot of military veterans and a lot of guys that are out of the military, and we wanted to form an organization that kind of mirrored it in the way that it's functioning and designed, because we actually feel very comfortable with it. And that's kind of how we formed the USJTF, to be as close to what we feel comfortable with as possible. And kind of bringing people together. I think that's the key word that we really want to use. So.
Okay. All right. So you started the USJTF. Was it the plan to be a global organization, or was it just something you were doing in the central U.S., or how was it? What was when you sat down and started the original concept? Like, were you thinking we're going to go big with this, or we're just going to do what we are doing in our area, and it kind of grew naturally on its own?
Yeah, the original concept of the task force was basically designed to just be something local, to have a confederation of teams that kind of work together and do things as one. And that was the particularly interesting part of it. And the biggest thing about it is that when we formed it up, we had no ambitions of getting to the level where we are right now. One day I actually had an email, hey, how you doing, bud? From the French chapter, and basically they were like, "Hey, we want to come in," and we were like, "Hey, buddy, hold on. This is the United States thing. We don't really have a solution for you, but let me get back to you on that." And it was probably one of the best things we ever did, coming up with an international program. Because I'll tell you, the biggest thing about this is just having the opportunity to come out and be part of different cultures and learn more about people and actually, just kind of bridge the gaps of humanity, so to say. And especially in the sport of airsoft, because believe it or not, yeah, we might be different countries and all over the world, but we kind of play airsoft the same way. And the most important factors is also the culture, like I said.
Right.
Like when I come down here, I learned a lot about the Panamanian culture, and there's some very interesting things, that if I wasn't blessed with this opportunity, I would never have had to get to experience any of this.
Right.
So,
Right. Okay. All right. So tell us about. Do you consider is the USJTF a team as airsoft players in the U.S. would consider it, or is it what exactly is it? Because I think it's probably not a team the way most of us think about it. It's something a little different. Am I correct in that, or?
you're absolutely correct. The way the USJTF is structured and designed, the teams remain totally independent and autonomous. The only thing we do as an organization is we provide tools, assets, and training to facilitate them to improve themselves, make them better. And also in that design, the most beautiful thing about the organization is that the teams provide all that stuff as well. So it's kind of a bottom-up approach, not a top-down approach. And the level of I know I can try to speak for all of us here too. The level of cooperation we get between these teams and the organizations that reside in USJTF is tremendous. We got about 6-7 different projects going on right now as we speak. Everything from R&D type projects to tactics and training classes that we're forming around the world. We're working with different organizations outside the USJTF to help plan events and training. So really, it's kind of limitless. We'd have to have a lot more time, I believe, to sit down and talk about a lot of the things that we're doing. But in a nutshell, that's kind of the way it works out.
Okay. All right. So let's address some of the issues here, because I know a lot of guys have a lot of negative stuff to say about you. And like I said, I really couldn't find, I dug and I couldn't find, besides hearsay and stuff, I couldn't find anything that was concrete to say that, okay, Brad is this or Brad is that. So let's so one of the famous things I've heard is Brad Crawford is crazy. Brad Crawford is a megalomaniac. That's a good one.
That is pretty funny.
And stolen valor.
Yeah, that's even funnier.
Yeah. Because I actually checked up on you. Actually, I work for the Army, so I checked up on you, and I know you're in the Army.
Yes.
Let's see. Now I didn't see your DD-214, but you're still in. So let's see. And that the USJTF is a scam or fraud.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's easy. You see, I love the way when you bring this up. It's easy to say things without any backing or information, just as hearsay or just to do other things. We don't make any money. I think I went in a hole like $300 last year with this organization. We don't make any money. We're not charging for any of the stuff that we do. We don't provide benefits or anything else. The patches and everything else that I have on my uniform are from a third-party source. We don't make a dime off that stuff. I mean, we kind of get supported by them giving us the opportunity to use their services, but that's it. I have a hard time understanding where sometimes this stuff comes out, because it's kind of crazy. I think, now that we're talking right now, I'm pretty sure you can see, I think I'm a pretty level-headed guy and just educated guy. I'm not crazy, climbing up the walls or anything like people say I am. Unfortunately, in our culture, I think sometimes standards exist where when people are afraid of something, they go into a defensive mode. And instead of actually, it's just extremely bad with our culture, instead of actually researching what things are all about and, actually getting into the weeds, they just want to automatically dismiss something, or, I hate to say it, there's a lot of times when jealousy becomes a factor, or, some guys look at what we're doing and go, well, I can't do that. Well, I'm not part of that, so screw those guys. Hey, I got it. We never talk down bad about anybody. We never talk down to anybody. We're really extremely nice. I'm sure you've seen that with my friend over at One of the Grunt's Opinion, who just wanted to fly off the handle and be a total lunatic on his site. And I was extremely kind and cooperative, and I tried to handle things professionally. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about the people who don't like what we do. The only thing I can do is continue to do what I've been doing for the past 5 years and dedicate my time and my service to others and help others become better players and try to bridge the gaps of, airsoft around the world so that we're in a unified kind of purpose and, do the best I can with my influence to better the community as a whole. And when I talk to the community as a whole, I'm not talking about just the United States. I'm talking about a worldwide thing. And that's something that if you look around it, that's few and far between. And for a lot of people to say the things they do about our organization, I would ask them a simple question. If it's such a bad organization and it's an all-volunteer organization, why do we have members that have 5 years of service in the organization? Why haven't they ran away if it's such a bad thing? I can tell you why, because it's absolutely not a bad thing. People love being here. People love being part of what we do. And honestly, I'm extremely proud to have the people that we have in this organization, because you can't ask for better people. They're dedicated. They're professional. They think about safety, and they think about, doing things to help other people. And that's a hard thing to find these days, especially in our society. So, I mean, what do you say, James? I can't really, there's not much more I can really say about a lot of things.
No, I hear you there. I mean, I'll tell you, there's things about, I mean, I think that the key thing here is that as a team, I can understand why guys would have a problem with the USJTF, but the USJTF, I kind of came to the conclusion today when I was putting my questions together that the USJTF is not a team. It's logistics and support at best, and that's really what it is. It's not a team. So, I know you guys don't go to big ops, at least in the U.S., as like, the Kansas City, your Kansas City group. You guys you do whatever you guys do. And I know guys are going to have a problem with that, you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
It's a thing of like, we, in Airsoft, we rate our proficients by going to big ops. That's how we, because that's what we, it's the whole system is like we've sold this idea that big ops are the pinnacle of Airsoft.
I'd just like to interject on that one point.
Sure.
I think that to rate an organization, a team, or an individual based on a pay-as-you-go system, going to national ops, is a completely, utterly wrong thing. I think there's dedicated players out there that spend most of their time training locally or going to games locally, and I think they're very good players. I think having the privilege with money and time to attend these big events doesn't make you any better than anybody else.
Right. No, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. It doesn't make you better.
Right. But it's a great thing. We do plan on going on to national events in the future. Right now, both my staff and myself are totally focused and committed and driven to improve this organization's capacities. Whether that be running our own operations, which in the future we're actually talking about that, and we're talking about running these operations for $10 a game. We're, like I said, we're not in this for making money. We're just in this to provide the support we need to accomplish the mission. I would say that to a lot of people. I say, we are a different kind of mentality of people. We like the tight-knit group support. We like the bonding. We like doing the training. We actually have some pretty good training material. I think I sent you just a basic camouflage class in your deal there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basic stuff that we provide for free, and that's the kind of stuff we like to do. The national events, I have all the respect in the world for the promoters and the organizers and the teams and the individuals that go. But like I would say, I don't think that's an actual standard for excellence or a bar for excellence. I think a bar for excellence should be, how hard do I train? How good am I with my team? And, what am I doing to give back to the community and the people which I serve locally? That's what I think standard of excellence or success would be.
Right. I get that. Okay. So the other thing I would say is just from kind of, and I had been speaking to you before the whole One Grunt's Opinion thing happened, and that's not why we're having this interview. We had planned this interview back, last year. We were talking about it, and we kind of just started to put it together maybe weeks before the One Grunt's Opinion thing happened. So this isn't why we're talking right now. But from standing back and observing the One Grunt's Opinion thing, you are an adamant defender of your team or your group and the overall image of your group, and you understand that you're part of that brand, so you defend yourself very vigorously. That defense to people who want to agitate you and troll what you're trying to do, that defense is like something they lock in on, and that creates the whole, at least in my opinion, it creates the whole crazy image. And we talked about that. We talked about it over Facebook, and you said, look, I got to do what I got to do. And I said, okay, it's cool. You know what I mean? I feel like, I think we all take the stands we have to take. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to say this and be very clear, right? The USJTF isn't something that I think is right for me, but I can understand why some people would want to be involved at that level and would want to be, have the command structure and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we talked about this. I told you some of the crazy things I want to do, So, I mean, I kind of get that, you know what I mean? And I think it's important, and this is kind of a message, I think, overall for guys out there who are trolling people who are like you and other guys out there. If you don't like what someone's doing, fine, you know what I mean? But to attack people randomly for no particular reason because you don't like what they're doing, it's nonsensical. It's like, why are you doing it? I don't get it, No one could ever tell me. Like, I asked so many people, and from what I do, I know so many people in the airsoft field, and I asked so many people. No one had a definitive thing about the USJTF or Brad Crawford that there was a problem with. And that to me is just kind of is like the stinky thing about it. And, I don't see a problem. There's no problem with us not agreeing about big ops or not agreeing about, the way you defend or go up against guys like One Grunt's Opinion. That's you're doing you and I'm doing me. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. And I think other guys in airsoft have to see that. I was pretty offended, personally, when I saw what happened to you on One Grunt's Opinion. I've worked with Javier before, the guy who from One Grunt's Opinion, and I respect what he's doing at One Grunt's Opinion. We don't work together on This Week in Airsoft anymore, but I respect him as a person and respect what he's doing over there. And I was kind of like shocked, it's like everything that's wrong with airsoft was embodied in that and other stuff that I've seen surrounding what you guys do. I commend you for being strong and being like, okay, we're just going to keep doing our thing. And like I said, I wouldn't engage them, but you engage them, you defend your brand, and I get that.
Well, I think there's also, James, I think there's a different way of defending it too, Yeah, I got a saying, it's killing with kindness.
Right.
Killing with professionalism. Because there's a lot of people on that page that are going to be trolls and they're going to say what they're going to say. But there's a lot of people that go on that page and go, well, this guy is being really nice and he's just saying what needs to be said. And I think that what this guy's doing is totally out of line. Right. For me not to go on there and to engage would leave a void open to go, okay, well, maybe they're telling the truth about this guy. He's not really on here defending himself.
Right. I hear you.
And you're right. I do animately defend myself. Yeah. And I've learned over the years. I will admit, when I first started, I did not have the mental fortitude to keep professional sometimes when I was defending myself. Yeah, I did. But a successful person in life, what I would say is they learn from their mistakes, and I definitely did that. And I'll continue to defend. All our brothers and sisters here with positive and encouragement and professional defenses online. I don't really care what the trolls say. I really don't care what anybody else says either, because I know what I have here is a good thing. We're not just talking about one team here. We're not just talking about one state, one country. We're talking about 14 countries around the world with a multitude of teams and hundreds of members that participate in this thing. So if that's not enough to persuade me that I'm doing the right thing, I don't know what else I need to be persuaded about. You know what I mean? So if people don't like it, hey, sorry for you, man. I can't do nothing about that. I'm not going to shut my doors just to make you feel good. I'll work with anyone who wants to come and work with me. I'll help anyone that needs help. We've done it a million times. What I won't do is I won't accept negativity, and I won't accept people kind of giving us a hard time.
Right.
And my last thing with this, I think personally that this is a serious issue in airsoft. I think that we all need to take a step back and we need to go, okay, look, you know, there's just a couple simple ground rules. You know, keep it professional. Be nice to everyone you meet. Treat people like you want to be treated. And at the end of the day, if you don't like somebody, that's fine. But don't try to push your feelings down somebody's throat because you don't like it. Look, there's something called just ignoring them or just not even talking to them. I mean, do I ever do the other two things? No, because I'm always trying to extend my hand, you know, in a handshake kind of mode and just kind of get things going and re-engage people. I'm never going to close my doors to anyone and say, well, that guy's a lost cause. No, that's a very bad thing to do, you know, and just being a human being, I think that it's better to forgive and forget than it is to keep hate and dissension and all this other stuff that we have in the airsoft community. It destroys us. It makes us weaker, you know, and I think players need to take a stance and go, hey, we're not going to accept or tolerate this stuff anymore. And I think, you know, we can do that. We can self-police. It's just people have to have the personal courage to do so.
Right. Well, you know, I you know, like I said, there's points that I think everybody's allowed to disagree on. I like what you're doing. I say continue doing it. You're doing your brand of airsoft, and that's what America's all about. That's what I don't see a problem with it, and I definitely encourage you to continue doing it. Continue bringing, you know, going to Panama. That's more than almost any airsofter in the U.S. can say. I went to Panama and played airsoft, you know. So I say continue doing it, and you know, keep up the good work, man. And if guys don't like you know, hey, they can kick rocks. So. I'm not going to hold you up, Brad. Oh, I wanted to say this one thing. I wanted to mention it earlier. Brad, you were you've been wounded in Iraq too, right?
Yeah, I got
in an IED with an IED, right?
It was we were at a checkpoint and basically I had a vehicle hit me about 40 miles an hour in the chest. Ran through a checkpoint and I suffered some pretty extensive injuries. Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like guys kind of you know. I feel like our perception of veterans and stuff, our perception of like guys who get hurt in the military is skewed, and we will, you know, when guys want to like hate your guts, they never want to think, oh yeah, this guy was almost killed in Iraq defending our freedoms. So, you know, I feel like that's important to get out there. It's written on your page. It's written in a little blurb on your page, and you know. You know, I think that it's important that guys hear it and understand it. So I just want to get that out there. You're not saying anything about it. You're downplaying it or whatever. But, you know, I'm going to say it. And if guys want to read about it, they can read, you know, the little blurb you have on your USJTF page. But I wanted to put that out there. So, Bradley, thank you very much for your time, man. I'm not going to hold you up and let you get your fancy Panamanian dinner on. Have a good time. Okay, we look forward to hearing from you.
We're gonna have a good time here.
Excellent.
I think we're gonna throw back a few beers, have a good time. We got some videos going on, and yeah, we'll have a video up on our website too of the dinner, so you guys can check it out too.
Okay, great, absolutely. So guys, I'll put links to the USJTF's page down in our links and stuff like that if you want to check them out, and their web and their Facebook page, and their YouTube also. So Brad, thank you very much. We'll look forward to having you on the show in the future to bring us up to speed with what you guys are up to in a few months or something like that, okay?
Excellent. Yeah, I'll probably be down in Chile next because I'm helping plan for Unitas down there. So I think maybe we can do a show in Chile next.
Okay, there we go. This Week in Airsoft goes international. Awesome. All right, thanks a lot, man. You have a good night and enjoy your dinner. All right, don't hang up. All right?
Yeah, God bless.
All right.